For the first set review of EX5 Animal Coliseum, I want to go over the 4 Sovereigns. There are a lot of cards to go over considering there are 12 devas alone, but with my Chinese background I'm intrigued to know how Bandai handled the Chinese zodiac and the 4 cardinal directions. Before beginning, every card in this discussion will have a play cost of 7. The Sovereigns all blast Digivolve and have an overflow cost of 4 memory. Additionally, they all Digivolve from a level 5 with Deva in their traits for a memory cost of 3, instead of 4 from their dual color identity. Meanwhile, all the Devas are 7000 DP and an on-play effect. On play, draw 1. Then you may play 1 Digimon card with Deva in its traits with a different name from cards in your battle area or trash, from your hand to an empty space in your breeding area without paying the cost. Meaning immediately after you play them, you draw and play another Deva with a different name to the breeding area. So instead of hatching an egg, you're simply using your breeding area to put more Devas there and promote out. None of the Deva Digimon have the ability to Digivolve from a level 4. The only Digimon that do Digivolve are the Sovereigns themselves. But now, onto their unique effects. Starting in the south is the Vermillion Bird zhuqiaomon. This Digimon returns as an Ace Digimon. When Digivolving and when attacking, once per turn by deleting 1 Digimon with 6000 DP or less, or the Deva trait, this Digimon gains Security Attack +1 for the turn. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. It's interesting that when Digivolving and when attacking, you may delete 1 Digimon with 6000 DP or less. However, the text doesn't state whether it's yours or your opponent's Digimon. In comparing text, King Sukamon does have similar text, which makes me believe you can choose your opponent's Digimon when Digivolving or attacking. And when it's deleted, yes, you'll lose 4 memory, but you'll get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. Might be worth it. But for the Devas of zhuqiaomon, all of them have the same inheritable of while this Digimon has 4 Sovereigns or God Beast in their traits, this Digimon gets Security Attack +1. Indramon has an additional passive effect that on deletion, draws 1. Sandiramon deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less, and pajiramon on deletion if your opponent has a tamer, gain 1 memory. Moving clockwise, the Sovereign that guards this domain is Baihumon, the White Tiger of the West. This black-yellow Digimon like zhuqiaomon Ace can blast Digivolve. Opponent's turn once per turn when your security is checked. If it's a Digimon card with Deva in its traits, play the card without battling and without paying the cost. A free way to spawn bodies, but only once per turn. On deletion, this Digimon also has an ability that deletes one of your opponent's Digimon, but this time of the highest play cost. All of Baihumon's Devas have an inheritable opponent's turn effect and opponent turn related effects. Sinduramon has Decoy for Deva and 4 Sovereign trait Digimon. Katuramon simply has Blocker. And Makuramon has an opponent's turn effect where their tamers with a cost of 2 or less can't suspend. Cool boy! Looks like you've been frozen solid. Jokes aside, Baihumon's ace line is more defensive, which you're definitely going to need if you're going to pass that much memory. Going first, give an opponent 7 memory? Big oof. Now moving clockwise again, it's time to head over to Ibonuman. This Digimon represents the Black Tortoise of the North. On play when Digivolving, for each Digimon with Deva or 4 Sovereign in its traits, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then all of your opponent's Digimon do not unsuspend during their next unsuspend phase. Again, green gets suspension effects and it's only a 1-turn reprieve. But for the fact that it's on play, if you have a lot of Devas already out on board, the effect can be a well-timed stun. And on deletion, this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's Digimon, but for the condition, it must be suspended. For the Deva Digimon of the North, all of them provide inheritable piercing, and supplement your Digimon your turn with additional effects. Vajramon your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 1 or more, gain 1 memory, which you'll need in the case of playing the Sovereign specific option cards. Vikaralamon your turn once per turn. When your Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, unsuspend it. And Kambiramon all turns, once per turn when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, draw 1. Overall, these effects focus more on your turn to add additional aggression and also to supplement your resources. But finally, one last turn and we've gone to Azulongmon, the blue dragon of the east. On play and when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the hand. Then unsuspend one of your Digimon with Deva, 4 Great Dragons, or 4 Sovereigns in its traits. A neat Digimon that could potentially be utilized in even the 4 Great Dragons deck from EX3. And while I thought this Digimon would bounce, it does indeed delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level on deletion. Like all other Devas up to this point, they all have the same inheritable of when attacking. Once per turn, if this Digimon has 4 Sovereigns or God Beast in their traits, gain 1 memory. But for their unique and passive effects, Antylamon has a when attacking effect that trashes the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Majiramon, your turn once per turn when you use an option card with a cost of 1 or more, gain 1 memory. And Mihiramon, your turn once per turn when you play a Digimon, trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Overall, these Digimon are most important for giving you more memory. And while normally that would be the end of the cardinal directions, there is still the center. This is where Fanglongmon resides. But before this secret rare card, let's talk about some option cards. Loyalty Deeper Than the Sea is a 1-cost white option card that can be played, regardless if you have a Digimon with Deva or 4 Sovereigns in its traits. Its ability lets you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, then place 1 card with Deva or 4 Sovereigns in its traits as the bottom Digivolution card of one of your Digimon. Or add a Deva or Digimon with 4 Sovereigns in its traits instead. Return the rest to the top or bottom. This card helps filter and add Digivolution sources, and will likely be a mandatory 4 of. In security, it triggers the main effect. But for the Sovereign's Ultimate Formation, this 12-cost option card again lets you use it without meeting the color requirements if you have a Digimon with Deva or 4 Sovereigns in its traits. In addition, when you would use this card for each Deva or 4 Sovereign trait Digimon in your trash, reduce the cost by 1. Meaning if you have all 12 Devas in the trash, this card is free. Its main effect allows you to play a Fanglongmon Digimon from your hand without paying the cost. If it's checked in security, return 1 Fanglongmon from trash to hand, then add this card to hand. Which takes me to the final boss, Fanglongmon. This Digimon is a level 7 yellow Digimon with no attribute and is a God Beast Digimon. It Digivolves normally for 6 from a yellow Digimon or 4 from a level 6 Digimon with 4 Sovereign in its traits. On play and when attacking, you may return up to 4 cards with Deva or 4 Sovereigns in their traits from the trash to the bottom of the deck. For each card returned, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus 4000 DP for the turn. When attacking, for each of your Digimon with 4 Sovereigns in their traits, trash the top card of your opponent's security. And all turns, this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. So let's break this down. You can deal a lot of damage and in a way wipe the board of all your opponent's Digimon. Shame though it's not like Shine Greymon Ruin mode, because if you have 0 security and they have a Digimon in the raise, it's a simple promote and game assuming you don't have any blockers. Its when attacking effect is highly dependent on you having additional 4 Sovereigns out. But its all turns effect, oh man, you're telling me that Digimon can't do anything to this Digimon by effect? Granted, option cards can still be used, but it's not Belphimon or Mother D Reaper. Overall, while effects of this deck are kind of cool, with Tommy being released of 4 copies again, I feel like this deck won't perform as well, because of the potential blue heavy meta. Regardless, this deck did place in 4 events, and while it may seem gimmicky now, it's too early to tell whether it's out of the running for a viable deck for Nationals. What are your thoughts on the Sovereigns and Devas? Which cards were your favorite, and why? Let me know if you'll be exploring this archetype, because it does have some unconventional ways to play that make it very different from normal linear stack decks. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.